What is up, Terror Squad? It's Solar. Hope you're having a sunny day today. Um, Today we are talking about how I allegedly killed my husband in a past life. And I say allegedly for a few different reasons. One, because y'all not about to catch me slipping. I'm not just about to be up here dry snitching on myself, especially when it's like, let's not act like modern day witch hunts might not be a thing because, bitch, what? Like, I'm sorry. I just like I go into some weird places in my mind sometimes. And that's one thing I just be thinking about. It's just like I wonder when like people who are just like carelessly, or maybe not even so carelessly, but people who are just throwing juju to be throwing juju, when are they gonna get us caught up? Like the actual practitioners. When are we gonna get caught up because of their bullshit and it's gonna be like a whole like spiritual warfare, like legal situation, you know what I'm saying? Or like, bitch, you're not about to look. I didn't get charged in that life for the crimes that I did. I'm not about to get charged in this one for the crimes that I did then. All right. Like it's just not the juice. So, yeah, allegedly, we're allegedly names, dates, locations have been changed to protect the innocent. I was guilty. So, to protect me, bitch. All right. Like, let's go there. Also like just another layer of protection. I just feel like, because again, when it comes to dreams, when it comes to past life stuff, it's things that are so deep into your subconscious. You want to share that? That's great. I feel like it's a beautiful thing to share it. It can help activate other people, right? In that same way. But at the same time, silence is golden. The best way to protect yourself is to stay silent, or to lie, to kind of like deviate from like how, if you know, you know. I'm gonna just say that. Like, real recognize real. Let's go there. So yeah, most details have been changed, or I'll just like omit or completely. And also, past life disclaimer in general, like, yeah, talking about this stuff is fun, right? But it's really about learning more about yourself and how you can navigate this life through the mistakes or through the trials and tribulations of your past life. All right. Like it's very like, it just gets deep, and I just get very annoyed when people are very surface level with talking about their past life stuff, or just anything in this, right? Because it's real easy to be like, oh yeah, I was, we was kangs. I was this, I was a princess, I was a ninja warrior. All of that shit's really cool. But what are we doing now? Don't tell me about your time as being a queen and you held this, that, and third down, when the only thing you've been holding down is yourself in this life, because you're 35, you still stay with your mom and you don't fucking bathe. Like and if you feel attacked, good. I'm sorry. The fuck? How is that helping you now? So really, I say all that to say, it should be a lesson. You should be learning a lesson. And if you didn't learn a lesson from a past life reading that you've partaken in words, then two things, right? It's either your reader wasn't shit, or you still have not like reached enough, like, how can I put it? You still have not elevated your consciousness enough to realize that this is a cycle that you need to break. And that's fine, because there's a lot of shit that's going on right now. I'm not about to fault you for your life, all right? I got my own shit, you know what I'm saying? But at the time that I got this reading done, it was very prevalent that I needed to elevate to get out of that cycle. Mainly because, for one, bitch, let me tell you, this wasn't even a past life reading that this past life came through in, okay? This was just a standard, like, I was actually, no, what was it? It was a deity linkage reading. So, at the time, I was very much so into learning about the archetypes that, I think people say, like, that walk with you, or that find out the spirits on your head, all that shit, right? So before I got into deity work, I was like, let me figure this stuff out, because I'd rather work with the ones that are naturally like my archetype, right? Because for one, they're going to come out hella stronger. It's going to help you have, in being your first line of defense or whatever. You don't want to call on some energy that's just like not even complementary to your archetype, at least when you're first starting out. I just feel like at the time, this is for me, maybe you're different, but I was so afraid of getting like confused, like, or just really like, look, I haven't gone to, and it's no shade, but I haven't had that stay in the psych ward that a lot of mediums or psychics or spiritual people like have. Like that's not one of the things that I wanted to do. As I'm very much so, maybe it's because Virgo moon shit. My mind is all I have. Like, I will protect it at all costs. So anyway, so this was a whole deity linkage reading, and a past life ended up just coming up, and it was very timely because I think it was like peak cycle of bullshit. Like the karmic cycle that I had from that past life, I have been replaying and replaying and replaying, and it has been to my own detriment, even in this life, still in this life. Well, not now because I've already alchemized and, just handle that bullshit real quick. But this was years ago, and at the time I was very much so lost in the sauce. So let's get into it. So yeah, I'm gonna tell you the story, and then we're gonna talk about like the lesson learned, right? Just because that's kind of what we're here for. So I was a young girl, like 16, 17. I came from a fairly rich family in a different country. I'll just say that. I'm not about to try to pick a country right now. I was from a different country, and then I moved to another country with my family, with my mother and my father, and it was really just to escape religious persecution at the time. So oh my God. Yeah, so I moved from my home country with my mother and my father to a different country, and it was really to escape religious persecution. But yeah, so during that transition, again, we are a wealthy family. However, I can only really, like, this was some corpse bride shit, okay? Because they really did sell me off just to, like, keep the riches in the family because they were going broke. And I was such a brat about that shit. I didn't know, like, as much detail at the time because, my family wanted to keep a lot of things, like, hush-hush from me. I think they were trying to, honestly, I think they were trying to get me to, like, just lean into the good stuff, right? And that's going to come up a little bit later. So we go to this new country, and my father marries me off to one of his business partners. Mind you, again, I'm like 17, the business partner older than my pappy. So I was not happy. I was not happy. He was a very just disgusting individual. I'm sorry, because like every time I think about this shit, I get so heated, and it's just like, no wonder I fucking allegedly murdered you. Because I wouldn't hurt a fly. But yeah, so he was a piece of fucking shit. How much of a piece of shit was he? He was such a piece of shit. Oh my God. Okay. I'm talking abusive in every which way, right? And this is not like, I don't want to say like modern day shit, like how everybody's like, oh yeah, I dated a narcissist. Like, no, like this was like this man was sick in the fucking head. And he was also just very rude to like people who were different. And I don't like that on a molecular level. Like that's always been something. It's crazy because even in the reading that, all this happened, that was one thing that the reader told me, was that I don't fuck around with treating people like they're less than. It's not something like, that's not something that my mom had to teach me. You know what I'm saying? Like right is right and wrong is wrong. And it's really wrong when people are shitty to wait staff, when people are shitty to, like custodians, when people are shitty to fast food work, any type of service industry. If you over here just like flexing on them, like for what, bitch? Like be fucking for real. Like I don't understand it. Like I'm sorry, because like I'm not trying to go on a tangent, but like when I see it, like I've literally ended friendships over the way people have treated service staff, and because I just cannot fuck with. Oh, sorry, no, it was a little blue jay that just came by the window. Sorry. But yeah, I don't vibe with it. I don't fuck with it. And he was very much so like, I have money, so I'm gonna say and do whatever I want to anybody that I deem less than because they're not at my status, so the bitch had to go. But basically, okay, so yeah, they're marrying me off into this trifling little fucker, right? And again, he's abusive every which way. Do I need to go into detail? Because if you're thinking about it, yeah, it happened. All right. That's also something that I had to heal from, just being fucking like, raise a hand if you just had a cycle of abuse in your past life. You know what I'm saying? Like goddamn, when's it gonna end? Just I've had to do so much like womb detoxification just to get like all of the, especially the SA, just out. You know what I'm saying? That's when people like talk about like dancing or twerking isn't a spiritual practice. I'm like, you don't understand how much stress that women hold in their hips and how much like just repressed anxiety just lingers there. And hell, I didn't realize it either until I started shaking my ass a little bit more. But that's neither here nor there. Like, let me know. Have you had a dance session where you just end up crying, like, because you're just purging the shit out? Like, let's talk about it sometime, you know? Put it in the comments. Anyway, so yeah, I don't want to say I fell victim to his abuse, but again, I'm like 17 and I'm married, and at the time, women's rights, what are those? So it was real difficult for me. But even like, okay, so even like day of the wedding, and I remember this, like, this isn't something that the reader told me. It's just when I started tapping into this life in particular, like just certain things started like coming back to me, right? And one of those things was, like, I remember just being in a real shitty mood the day of my wedding, and to the point where like my mom just kind of told me, like, she got me together low key, and she told me like how much of an ungrateful little bitch I was being, not those words specifically, but just really not seeing like, okay, like you might not enjoy this person that you're married to, but she's trying to be optimistic. It's like, he might grow on you, but even fuck all that, right? But she's like saying like, you're wearing a real pretty dress, right? You got this, right? You wanted this, right? You got it, didn't you? Da 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 da. Like I was such a snowflake in this past life because I grew up with money. Like, and when I say like money, it wasn't just like some upper middle class shit. Like, I had money, all right? So if I didn't marry this man, and if my family would have been on that downward spiral of like losing all of their monies and things, I would have not been able to fend for myself because I didn't know how to fend for myself. There was nothing. I literally would have been like po white trash. Like, I had nothing. I had no skill. Like, I don't even know if a bitch could read. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I could, but you know what I'm saying? It was just very like the one job was to be there and look pretty. And I guess I did that one job, but it was just, look, either way. So mom got me together and just telling me to, be grateful because it could be worse. Like, I could literally be in a brothel right now, because that's where, the unmarried young ladies went that didn't have shit going for them. So it's just like, you want to go to jail, you want to go home. Like, you know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was just kind of like not seeing it from her perspective because, like 17, so whatever. And it's just like, fuck you, mom, you're making me marry this old man. And again, he's an abusive piece of shit. That wasn't fun. And I succumbed to his abuses for years, to the point where I just kind of like, I feel like I learned to finesse a little bit just watching him because like he was such a, like, I hate to use the term, but like he had such a predatory like spirit to him, right? And like, if you're on this path, you should know it's either you're either food or you're eating. And at the time, I think I just really got sick of being food. I got really irritated by that notion. So I just started like watching how he moved and just started doing that shit accordingly, not to like other people, but to him, and just like the whole situation in itself, to where I was able to finesse whatever I had to make sure that like my people was good, right? So not even just my family, but when I say my people, because this, if I'm being real, okay, look, this happened back in like slavery times, all right? So I saw my servants as my people. I'd never, and granted, like, yeah, I probably could have done more, right? I think that I did as best as I could, or as any like freedom fighter could at that time. Because at the end of the day, like, there's still so much, I don't know, there's just so many like outside factors. The easy thing is to be like, oh yeah, everybody should have just like, kill your masters and do that. That's real easy to say, but in actuality, right? So I don't know, story for another time. I'm trying to keep this a short video. Basically though, there was a young servant girl, I'll say that, and she was going to be falling victim to his essay, and I think that's what really like sparked something inside of me, because while I didn't have children, because I think honestly, I'm sorry, I'm pretty sure like I spoke that over myself, because I was like, I cannot have this man's children, you know what I'm saying? Because there was nothing wrong with me. I was a healthy girl. So why didn't I have babies? Because I didn't want them. So, yeah, and I was just like, you're not about to take this child. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not about to, like, I've seen him do some shit, but what we're not about to do is literally like, just rob somebody's innocence. Like, I just cannot fuck with that. I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't know why I'm emotional right now. It bothers me. So yeah, I was just like, oh, hell no. So this motherfucker gotta go. So at first there was like, you know, little diversions or little distractions that were like, you know, helping. But at some point, I don't know, maybe he caught on, or just shit was about to get real. And I was like, it's not about to get real, because I'm about to handle this. So I you know, collaborating with indigenous folk, right? Because again, we had servants and things like that. They gave me the right potion. This nigga was out. He was lights out. You know, he was knocked out. I don't know. And when I say potion, it was probably just like chamomile tea. You know what I'm saying? But like, or they made sure this nigga was out cold. And I just, allegedly, because this isn't a true story, I allegedly just bludgeoned him to death. And when I was done, it was a group effort, really, allegedly, because, you know, I had a few come help me clean myself up. The other ones was cleaning the area up, and, you know, the other ones was hiding the body, or allegedly hiding the body, or doing what they had to do to dispose of it, right? And so yeah, after all of those things happen, and, you know, the police come around, we all have a solid alibi, solid story, and I'm, you know, allegedly just this like very emotional, very high-strung young wife, and I don't know where my husband, when he left letters, he stopped writing the letters, and I don't know what to do, and oh my God, officer, help me. Yeah, so they didn't really go look for this nigga. Granted, how much looking can you do for a person? Like, back in those times, like, it was just so easy to murder. I don't know, like, take me back. But anyway, so yeah, all that was straight out. Obviously I inherited everything, because, you know, I'm as a married woman. So and I let my people go. I hate to say it like that, because it's kind of giving like white savior a little bit, but also, like, let's keep it a buck. That's kind of what happened. I just, you know, I was like, you know, you're welcome to stay, but, you know, you want to, you know, get it how you live. But obviously, because again, like, as a woman at that time, didn't have a lot of options. How many options did you think Black people had? I'll wait. All right. So it was kind of like best case scenario for a lot of people. And I hate to say it like that, but, you know, again, because I wasn't over here abusing them. Like, they were literally just like indentured servants. It wasn't like on some weird like Django type shit. You know what I mean? So yeah. And everybody was cool. And then they all clapped. You know what I'm saying? So funny thing though, the big takeaway, the big lesson that I learned from tapping into this past life, especially when the reader like told me about it, when it came out in the reading, because again, this wasn't even what we were doing the reading for. I really learned the power of leaning into my blessings, because y'all know, I say it all the time. If you're fam, if you're Terror Squad, you know, I say I'm a spirally ass bitch all the time. And it's because when something goes wrong for me, or what I perceive to be wrong for me, I lean into that, and I start like just talking about like, you know, nothing ever goes my way, and like just being a miserable hoe. You know what I mean? Just being like, I can't describe it. Just like, nobody wants to be around that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I didn't want to be around me when I was in those, like, in that mind frame, right? Because nobody likes people that just complain. And that's all I did, was just complain and not really seeing the blessing, or waiting for the blessing rather, because a lot of it had to do with impatience. Like, I want things when I want them, how I want them, right? But tuning into this past life and working with that energy really made me realize just how much like I can alchemize my entire existence by just leaning into my blessings. And I know that sounds very like basic. I know it sounds very stupid, and it's just like, it's like one of those things. It's like, oh, you're depressed? Go outside and get some sun. It's like, oh, great. Like, I'm happy now. Like, not really. But there's so much validity in that. And I think that when you open yourself up to understanding that, and the opening yourself up to the simplicity, like letting things be easy for you, it's beautiful. And it was kind of, to me, realizing, and I'm gonna have to take Universe Guru's words here. If you don't watch Universe Guru, like Mina, she's amazing. I just love her content. She's awesome. I'm a total fangirl. I'm sorry. But so she made this video where she talked about people will manifest through you, right? And so you might not see it as something that'd be beneficial to you, but to like the whole of it all, like that's exactly where you need it to be. And so I really think that that situation was manifested through me, right? To be there for a certain group of people at a certain, point in time, when it wasn't, when it was very normal to treat that group of people like dog shit, so yeah. And also being able to like, I had to go through my own abuses, but being able to stop, like not just one or two, but a whole group of people, of young children from encountering that same abuse. Like worth it to me. Sorry. Like, that might sound kind of like fucked up, but also like, I don't really give a shit. Because it's just my personal opinion. And not that I'm like a martyr or nothing. Nothing like that. It's just like, let's keep it a buck. So yeah. Just learning the power of leaning into my blessings. And it's really like, it's not about when things are going right, because again, that's the easy shit. But when shit's going wrong, when like you just had a shitty ass day, nothing's working for you, like just like the spirals are happening, taking time to not play into the spirals, but actually taking time to be like, all right, yeah, that shit fucked up, but guess what? Like, it's because of this, I now get to do this. You know what I mean? It's because my Wi-Fi wants to act spotty because we're in the middle of a snowstorm, right? This literally just happened. I was trying to do some shit on my computer, handle some business or whatever. I wasn't able to do that. But what I was able to do, sit the fuck down and read. And the book that I chose to read, I needed it at the time. Like, it was literally like, the week was weird. I had like I had a random thought, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna like expand on that later. I'm just gonna put a pin in it, right? Because I was like questioning certain things within myself. And then so the book that I like got from my bookshelf, and I was like, let me just sit down and read a little bit. Activation right there. You know what I'm saying? So instead of complaining and whining and like literally throwing a tantrum, because I do that, I throw adult tantrums about my fucking Wi-Fi, like just being able to lean in and, okay, so this isn't working. What is gonna work? Because something's gonna have to work, because I don't exist for things to not work for me. Does that make sense? So that was really like, and I don't know, to be honest with you, like since I started doing that, I feel like I have been the luckiest motherfucker alive. Like it's dumb shit. Like when I tell you it's dumb shit, like it's high, it's really, it's all over, it's chaos and I love it. But okay, like even I had a really bad like falling out with a friend, and just again this weird space that I was in during a weird period of time, right? Everything was just strange. And I ended up going to the zoo because I like, that's one of the quickest ways to elevate my mood. I love being around like animals and stuff. So I went to the zoo with one of my close friends, and we were in line to get a soft pretzel. If y'all don't know, I don't play about my motherfucking soft pretzels. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit late. The concession stand was gonna close soon, We're in the back of the line. There's only like 4 pretzels up there. Everybody in front of us just happened to get a pretzel. And so like my initial thought process, because I was already spiraling because of the things that I was going through. When I tell you, like I had an anxiety attack that day, just from all the craziness that was going on. So I was already in that like spirally place. So I was just like, oh my God, we're not gonna be able to get a pretzel. And chubby girl problems, like my food is my life. So it's just like, that was gonna be my slice of happiness for the day. And I was literally standing there watching it slowly getting taken away from me. Because I don't deserve nice things. Like, this is what I'm saying, like the spiral, right? So I'm just like, no, you know what? No. They can have them pretzels. Them pretzels been up there for a minute. I'm like, we're about to get some fresh pretzels. I know that for a motherfucking fact because they're not about to turn us away. We've been in this line. I'm getting me a pretzel today, goddammit. And what happened? I ended up getting the fresh pretzel. It was still hot. It was all oily and salted to perfection. It was amazing, And that was a lot better than waiting in line all that time to get a soggy ass like pretzel that's just been standing in the little like container for like 4 hours. So yeah. lean into the good shit. And this really even goes into like, if you've read the Kabbalion too, where they talk about like how the pendulum swings, you know what I'm saying? Or like understanding the zeitgeist a little bit, right? When it comes to anything that you do, like just anything, 50% of people are going to fuck with it and 50% of people are going to hate it. And it's really up to you. If you're so confident about what you're putting out there, if you're so confident about your decision, where are you going to lean? All right. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of that whole thing. Oh, also, before we go, I just remembered the funniest shit. Okay. So when the reader was wrapping up like this past life thing or whatever, and she's telling me like, okay, yeah, and you know, obviously after the whole alleged murder and everything was fine and everyone had smooth sailing lives and stuff, and people were getting paid fair wages because I wasn't having that shit anyway. So after all of that, she was saying that I just turned into the biggest Mandingo fucking warrior. Like you couldn't, she was like damn near verbatim, she's just like, nobody could keep you off black dick. You just was perpetually just like, you were just glued on black dick. And I'll admit, because I had to, like, I thought she was fucking with me, so I had to do my own, like, little, like, past life research with this. When I tell you that I got possessed by the spirit of black dick, and we all know that that is a very powerful energy. Shout out to y'all. Like, thank you. If you're out here slanging, you're doing the Lord's work. I'm just saying, like, gold star for you. Like, either way, I just thought that shit was hilarious because, like, I literally, bruh, like, it was just like, what is life? And I'm like, I hope all of that was consensual because I just was taking turns with all. Look, if you just was black in my vicinity, I was getting that ass. It was bad. It was bad. Was it a fetish? I don't know. Probably. I still fetishize black men. I'm sorry. This sounds bad, but let me not say that. I fetishize dark skin. That's what it is. I love dark skin. Like I can write a whole haiku about it. Like it's bad. I don't know if it's from then or just like, my mom was very proactive about giving me the right representation growing up. So I've always just like, darker skin. I really didn't understand colorism until I started going with my dad when I was a little bit older. That's a story for another time. Because that whole side, they were very, like, they were weird. But, there was, like, some high yellow motherfuckers, too. So, it was just weird. So, anyway, yeah. In conclusion, again, lean into the blessings, right? Lean into some black dick. And blessings. If you remember nothing from this video, black dick and blessings. That's what I wish for you for this year. Okay? If consensually, all right? Take it how you want it. But yeah. All right. So questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section. You guys already know. If you want me to kind of go in detail about certain things, or if you were like, hey, you could have like not, let me know as well. I hope if this made you laugh, let me know, because I thought this shit was kind of funny. But yeah, learn and grow, go for 2 Fs. Bye.